All right, good evening. Welcome to the Roundtable Talk with Joe. My name is Jonah Eromo, and it's another edition of the Roundtable Talk. And today promises to be very, very insightful and interesting. Apparently, we have Mrs. Mercy Joe Blankson with us tonight, who will be sharing her story. And like I always say, it's an experience sharing platform where people just come share their stories, and we just expect people to glean from those stories and learn from it. Um, Basically, that's what we'll do on the Roundtable Talk. And hopefully, I'm believing in days to come, this will transcend into other things. But at the moment now, I believe from the feedback we're getting, we're adding so much value to the participants that always join us whenever we make this call. I want to say thank you for joining me this evening once again. And definitely, I know the time you spend here will not definitely be wasted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, tonight, I'll not, without much ado, we'll be diving straight into what we are here for. Yes, what we're here for. Basically, on the 28th of July, 2018, Mr. Joe Blankson gave his life to avert what would have been a black day in River State. And 28th was just a few days ago. We had his memorial in Abuja, I suppose, and we have his wife here who has gone through a lot and she has come out. Now, you were not here to begin to tell the story of what happened, so to speak. I'm going to give her opportunity to say everything she wants to say this evening. However, the part we're interested in, which is what we encourage on the Roundtable platform, is despite what you have gone through, there is always an opportunity for you to bounce back in life. Always an opportunity for you to come through and say, hey, you know what? I've gone through this, right? But I was able to pull through. Now, I want to thank everyone that has joined me this evening. I have a lot of persons here. And surprisingly, I have Pastor Japheth with me. Thank you for joining me. That's amazing to have you on the platform. I have Pastor Amos, I have Basi, Chiwendu, Doris, Philomena, Rashidi, Tosin, Ugochukwu. Thank you. I know a whole lot of other persons will be joining me this evening as we go on. Without much ado, as we go on this evening, we'll be having, you can always visit our YouTube channel to watch the other videos. I believe there will be a lot of things you can learn from there. And you can as well join our Telegram channel as well. However, this evening, I just want, Mrs. Messi, can you just say hi to the house? Let's just be sure that you can hear us and we're all on the same page. Can you say hi to the house?
Hi, everyone. All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we'll be diving into the business of the day. Now, basically, the first thing I would just like to ask you is, before we go on, I would just like us to have a 1 minute silence for our departed hero. So in the next 1 minute, I just want us to just stay calm. Thank you. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry about that. I guess I was on mute. All right, I said a lot of persons have joined us because they want to hear your story. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, could you just share your story with us?
Okay, my name is in.Joe Blankson. I'm a mom, an entrepreneur, a survivor. I'm also the founder of Widows Hub Africa Initiative and Joe Blankson Foundation.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. I actually lost my husband on July 28th, 2018. I received a call from his mom. He traveled that day. Actually, he went to work. From work, he was supposed to go to the village for a burial ceremony. So is Joe went to work from work, will be going to the village. So she was like, Mercy, they are looking for Joe. Joe was involved in a boat accident. So I was like, wow. So I had to rush to the family house, and on reaching the family house, I saw crowd. I saw more than 100 persons there. They were all crying and wailing, and So I went straight to my mother-in-law. I was like, Mommy, what happened? So she narrated the story that their boat capsized and they are looking for him. So I was like, they are looking for him, right? I'm just very positive that they are going to find him. So instead of staying back with them to cry and shout, I was like, let me just go back home and pray, because I've always believed in prayers. I've always believed in God. So when I got home, I told my sister and I called my brother to tell him, but I pleaded with him not to tell our parents. So that was the day I started night vigil. I was praying with confidence that they are definitely going to find him. On Sunday, some persons went back to the jetty, and I went to my mother-in-law's place. I was being positive. They were also being positive. They didn't see him that day. That same day, I went back to my house, and we continued with the video. And the next day, I was supposed to go to the jetty. In fact, I was on my way to the jetty. That's Abonima Wharf. Before I received a call from my mates, that's my late husband brother's wife. She was like, Mercy, let me just tell you the truth that they found Joe's body by 2 a.m. at the mangrove. That Joe didn't make it. I said, okay, no problem. Let me get to the jetty. So on reaching there, I pleaded with them if I could see him, but they said no, that I'm not allowed to see him, and it's their culture that if you die in water, they'll bury you near the water. So many drama happened at that moment. I was like, it's not possible. It's not like Joe died committing one offense or the other. He actually died saving people. So he doesn't deserve to be buried that way. So after so many drama and stuff, I wasn't allowed to see him. And I don't use the word buried. They just dump him somewhere around the water. So after that day, I think that was when the news started trending that so and so person died saving people and stuff. And it was during election period. So many drama happens that period, from my in-laws, from the community and the rest of them. But despite it all, I just want to thank God that today I'm sound, and I've actually used my pain, my story, I've turned my pain into gain. And also and encouraging widows through my story. So that's it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, basically the reason why we're here tonight is not to look into what happened that day. Where I'm actually interested in is how you were able to turn that into what it is today. I think a lot of persons will learn from that. I believe that was literally a challenging period for you, right? Now, what was the most difficult scenario you encountered when your husband passed away, and how did you overcome it? I know a lot of things happened, right? And I also believe that the reason why you have an NGO for widows was because you literally also saw, right, during that period what you had to go through as a widow at that point. Now, what was the most difficult scenario? How did you overcome it? Just can you just please share something around that?
Okay, the most difficult of it all, aside the fact that I didn't see my late husband, the drama from his family members. I'm actually not from River State, so when he passed on, there were so many dramas. First of all, they were threatening me, and aside that, actually lost a child. We lost a child via Inferno. So now, my late husband. So they were now making it look like it was my health was at stake. So my own issue was to ignore them. No matter what they say, no matter the truth, no matter
Okay, we're
I
losing you
just
a bit.
totally ignore them. Particular place is not good for your mental health. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I can hear you. It's better now.
Okay, what I did was that I quietly left River State.
Okay.
I relocated because the place wasn't good for my mental health and my peace. So when I left Port Harcourt, actually the governor promised me some money. So I don't know, it was all over the internet. So many widows started calling me that I'm also a widow. Please, can you help me with this amount? Can you do this? Can you do that? But none of them asked anything. So I said,
Okay, Mexico, could you change your location? We're losing you.
organizing programs for widows. So the whole thing made me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, could you just change your location a bit? We're losing you. We couldn't get everything you said. So I heard up to the point where you said you had a lot of widows calling you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Better.
I think it's the connection.
Okay.
Poor connection.
All right.
Okay, so a lot of widows were calling me and stuff. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, so in the process, I created a force to an NGO for widows, which is Widows of Africa Initiative. In that place, we come together, grow, we heal, and we strive. Then, aside the widows hub thing, I was able to create a foundation of what my late husband died for, just to keep how to swim. It's very important we catch them young, catch them young than when they are old. Because actually, my late husband started to swim as a child, not as an adult. That was why he was able to
We're losing you.
acquire the skills to save a lot of people. And he's the foundation for. Let's talk. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. It's better now. But we lost you a bit there.
Okay, the swimming academy so far has really been quite inspirational in the sense that children, you could see that children have the zeal, the passion to swim, but they just needed someone to guide them, or they needed someone to push them. So aside children, I think swimming is a basic thing for everyone, because we never can tell where a job will take us to, or marriage, or even as a Nigerian, NYSC. So that's that for the foundation. Then for the Widows Hub Africa Initiative, so far it's really, really helping widows. I'm kind of giving them a voice and also give them hope in a hopeless situation. What actually drives me in trying to make this Widows Hub happen is the zeal to put a smile on a widow's face. Aside the zeal to put a smile on a widow's face, the hope, and the assurance you give to a widow, a widow that is totally broken, you giving her hope, it's actually puts a smile on my face, and I feel fulfilled whenever I'm able to achieve that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, one thing that comes to mind at this point now is, when we talk about starting up a business here in this part of the world, the first thing that comes to mind is, the money. So the question now is, how have you been able to support all these initiatives? Who's funding you? How do you get the funds to do all of these? Just tell us how. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you at all.
Okay, what I said was, when we've heard how literally when we talk about starting up an NGO, starting up an initiative, the first thing that comes to mind literally to an average person is, I need money to be able to start this up. I need this to be able to start this up. So, and I believe it was rumored at that point in time that the government gave you money. So a lot of persons believe that, maybe what she's doing today is because she has been funded by the government. So can you tell us, is the government supporting you? How are you getting your support? How are you driving this initiative? Because I believe just go ahead. Let's hear from you first.
Okay, first for the government made promises that should I say yet to fulfill, or they didn't fulfill at all. It's not the government that is supporting me. I'm actually doing that from my pockets. Do you get? From my pocket. And it's if I'm to really look at the financial aspect of it, I won't be able to achieve my dreams. Although I need funds to make things happen. But at times, most widows, it's not even the money they need. Some of them are totally broken. They just need someone to talk to them. They just need someone to pour their hearts to, and they need someone to encourage them and motivate them. So it's not the government, it's from my pockets. And
fantastic. So for me,
support from friends.
For me, that is awesome, right? That is awesome. It clearly tells me that what comes across clearly to me is, when there is an initiative to be driven, when there is a job to be done, the first thing is, a lot of persons say, I need money to do this. While we know that money is key, right? It is not always everything. You can actually start that initiative. You can actually go ahead and begin to think of what you can do, right, to impact lives, even when the finances are not there. Thank you very much for that. So now, can you share with us your journey of building the swimming academy and the NGO? Just tell us, how has it been? How did you start? Where was your first point of call? What did you do initially? So when it came to you that, okay, fine, I want to start up the swimming academy, what did you do? So that those our listeners can also, from there, gather one or two things they can also do to start up their initiatives and whatever they need to do in life. If anybody is here that wants to start up an initiative, you could you've gone through it, you are succeeding in it. Yes, you might not be where you actually want to be, but definitely, for me, I count that as success. So could you just share with us how you started, what you did to be able to take it to where it is today?
Okay, when I started, right, the first thing was the passion, the zeal, and the future. When I mean the future, like, I'm looking at 3 years let me say short-term goals and long-term goals. You understand? So those points kept me going. Initially, the what is it called? The swimming academy started in Port Harcourt. You understand? I met the pool I was using then was owned by Port Harcourt Club. So I met them and I explained the story to them. So they're supposed to give me the pool for 1.3 million for a year. They're like, oh, because of what happened, they'll reduce it to 700,000. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I still try to convince them that it's not even the money that we are talking about here. Is the importance, the impact of swimming in the life of people. Okay, first of all, imagine that my late husband couldn't swim, you know. Imagine the number of widows or the number of people that would have been mourning or crying by now. So I tried to convince them with that. Then I started by depositing little money, you know. I actually tried writing to people or writing to companies, but there was no positive response and it was quite discouraging. But I didn't let that stop me. I kept on pushing, pushing and pushing. Even his last anniversary that happened yesterday, at a point I almost wanted to, like, in fact, I'm not doing this again because it was a competition. And I was looking at it at, I don't know how to put it, but at a point I almost gave up because aside the financial aspects, his families were on my neck. They actually thought I'm using their son to make money. Do you understand? Okay, so I started pleading with some friends, like, if you should just help me make this thing happen. The response was positive, and from my own end, sincerely speaking, what happened yesterday was one of its kind. So I don't really look at the obstacles when I'm doing something. I just look at what I want to achieve out of it.
Okay, beautiful.
Are you with
Beautiful.
me?
Yes, I'm with you. I can hear you, please. Can you hear me?
Okay, I just look at the what I want to achieve. Yes, yes. I just look at what I want to achieve out of it, what the impact of it. Then I try to push until something happens.
Fantastic, fantastic, awesome, awesome, awesome. Now that's literally the average human for you. Now, so my next, now, if you have questions, you can actually put them in the chat box. If you have questions, you can drop your questions in the chat box. Do not forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to be posting it up there, and we have previous videos you can also watch on our YouTube channel. Now, the next question that comes to mind now is, amidst all of this, knowing fully well that you are not getting the support that you need as much as possible, yet you are able to wake up every morning and tell yourself, you know what, despite these challenges, I'm pushing on. Now, so what comes to mind next is, what actually drives you? There must be something that you look up to say, hey, you know what, because of this, I need to push on. What drives you? What's that thing that is fueling your passion?
Okay, the desire to put a smile on a widow's face. It's actually a drive. Then the passion for when, please. Sorry about that.
Please go on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
The passion to achieve whatever I want to achieve is also part of what drives me. Then the fact that I want my husband to be happy wherever he is. Do you understand that? My wife didn't just let my name to just die or fade away. It's also something that drives me to make things happen.
Now, there's so much to learn from what you've done. Now, you know, in the past, about 2 or 3 sessions ago, we had something we had one of the topics we considered was finding purpose in pain. Finding purpose in pain. And literally, this is a clear example of what we were trying to talk about 2 months ago or so thereabout. Now, basically, from what I've just learned or what I've been able to glean from everything you've said is, now life will always throw anything at you. Life will throw a whole lot at you. It will come in any form. Now, basically, what you just need to do is, after all said and done, definitely there will be times where you have to cry. There'll be times where you have to be broken. There'll be times where you like just tell yourself, oh, I wish it never happened to me. Now, after everything, all you need to do is to sit down and ask yourself, what is the lesson point? What do I need to learn from what has happened. And I think practically that is what Mrs. Mercy has done. Basically, despite everything she has gone through, right? What she looked at was, okay, what do I need to do from what has happened? And that has transitioned into a foundation for a swimming foundation, and as well as a hub for widows. Now, let's talk about the hub for widows. Now, could you tell us? Now, you said it's a platform to grow, heal, and strive. Yes, you said you used those three words, and I noted it. You said it's a platform to grow, heal, and strive. And I know when it comes to widowhood here in this country, there are a whole lot of things that are tied towards it. Now, can you share your experience with the widows? Do you think that with the little you're able to do, with the little you're able to do, it's sufficient? I also like you to talk about ways you think people can support what you're doing, because I believe this is also a platform where you could also find some form of support. Yes, I believe so. Well, yes, we didn't plan this, but I just feel a lot of persons here could also support what you're doing, either in one way or the other as a volunteer or whatever. So could you just tell us about the Widows Hub? Tell us about it.
Okay, the Widows Hub Africa Initiative is an initiative for widows to help widows discover their true identity. When I say true identity, most widows actually give up. They give up after the demise of their spouse. So it's a platform whereby we encourage them to move on. We all have a purpose in this life. So for the fact that your spouse is no more doesn't mean you shouldn't accomplish that. So it's a foundation whereby we help them discover whatever it is they are good at. So far, the widows we've worked with, I don't use the word average, but you could see they are struggling, right? So aside creating small businesses for them, there is also like what I'm actually trying to work on now is to create a skill center, because usually most NGOs, if they have skill, like they want to I don't know, maybe kind of hype their foundation or something, they'll just create a 1 week skill, whatever. But I want mine to be like a school whereby these things are here. For example, sewing. You can't just learn sewing for a week or 3 days. Do you understand? So it's more like to create a school whereby they can learn for a month. After that, give them a sewing machine. Aside the sewing machine, also encourage them with some funds, then do a proper follow-up on them, because it doesn't just end with empowerment. You also have to follow up, because it's normal that at times we just want to give up. Maybe you try a little business, it's not working out. You just want to give up on it. So it's now left for us to do a proper follow-up on them, encourage them, and if this one is not working out for them, you can also try something else for them. So the empowerment aspects, the empowerment in terms of small scale business, then the interaction aspect, like hearing their story, we give them a room to narrate their stories. And it will amaze you that a widow might think, oh, it's the end of the world. When she hears another person's story, she will be motivated. So it's more like a forum to motivate them, to encourage them, and the rest of them. And even like the widows I worked on last month, I don't even know them, it's just via phone call. Their stories are really terrible and scary, but I was able to. And when it comes to things of widow, you also have to back it up with prayers. It's not just the physical aspect, but also support them with prayers and the rest of them. So that's it.
All right. So how are you able to do this all alone? Do you have a team, right? Or are you all alone in this?
The team I have now, it's not really a team per se. It's like volunteers. Do you understand? It's like they just volunteer to help and stuff.
Okay, so okay.
So far they've been helping as well, helping and encouraging.
So if I want to participate in what you're doing, what are the opportunities for me there?
Okay, depending on the role you want to play or what you want to participate in. Do you understand? I don't know if you want to participate by funding or by maybe trying to heal them with your words or whichever way. But the challenges we are having now is just the funds aspect of it.
Okay. So let's go back to the swimming academy now. Now, what are the challenges and what are the opportunities that lie therein?
Okay, so far, like the challenges is the fund,
Mm.
as I said earlier on, in the sense that like I'm trying to negotiate with the national stadium to give me a very fair rate for the pool, because what we do is to pay for a year, to partner with them to pay for a year. Then the coaches aside, we'll be able to settle them differently. But so far they said they will charge me 500,000 for a year,
Mm.
which is fair enough compared to other pools I've come in contact with. So right now I'm actually trying to raise funds to see how I can pay then for students to start their lessons properly.
Okay. Now, what's the big picture for you in all of this? Now, I want to believe the foundation is about a year or 2 years going, right? And the Widows Hub is about a year or 2 years going. What's the big picture for you? Are you looking at what's the big picture? Hopefully, growing the students to participate in competitions nationally, and what's the big picture?
Yes, that's the long-term goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to build a standard swimming pool, Olympic size, in my late husband's name for students, in the sense that they can even, it's more like when I say an academy, there'll also be hostels and stuff. So that maybe during holiday, they'll say, I want to learn how to swim for a month. No need of going and coming.
Okay, so
They're in the hostel. It's more like a school. Then also to see how swimming can be imposed in schools, you understand, as part of their curriculum. Then aside the survival skill, to also see to encourage those children, because aside the survival, there will be joy in participating in competitions. You know, if they could even get to Olympic standard, that would be a big plus.
okay, there's a question for you here. Bensi, your story is quite touching. I'd like to know how you're able to cope with motherhood alongside the foundation.
Okay, it's actually not easy, most especially when we don't really have good nannies around of lately. So it's mostly when they're in school that I do most of the thing, or even while they are sleeping at night, you know, I'll be able to do some paperwork. Then most of the skits I create for people, that's to like motivate people. I do that during the weekend. It's not easy, but as I said, the passion, the zeal, to the ability to put a smile on people's face actually motivates me to balance them all.
Okay, all right. Somebody is raising up. We have Philomena. Can you ask your question? We have a question from Philomena, so you can go ahead and ask your question. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Messi. I'm a very strong woman. I understand your, because I am not there, but I, from like everything you've said, and from my little interactions with some widows around, I can really understand what you've been through and what you're still going through. So you have all of this fantastic idea, wanting to empower widows, wanting to make swimming not just but something that should be taken into consideration, like something that should be part of living, right? So from what you've said so far, for the Widows Hub, do you people come together? Like, do you have a meeting where you invite all of these widows? Because I know part of the challenge will be location. You are in a different location, and then definitely you have widows from all around, right? So how do you communicate with all of these widows? Like, because sometimes I feel that, okay, coming together, fellowshipping together, because I know you talked about the aspect of prayer, which is key, because I know a lot of things would have to, fall under that category, so that people would get to really, really heal, and then, pitching the word, and then other people sharing their stories. So how do you do that? Is it do you have like an online platform, or do you people get to meet? And then for the swimming aspect, um because I know you would be faced with paying the coaches, and then sustaining the fee for the pool, right? So all of these kids that would be coming, and even maybe some adults that would want to swim, uh, would you be charging like a token before they register for the classes, or how do you intend to run that?
Okay, let me start with the Widows Hub one, right?
Okay.
Okay, usually if we are having a meeting or a gathering, I try to do publicity. Actually, I have widows in my group at the moment. I'll try to do publicity, then try to reach out either via media, like on radio, or tell a friend to tell another friend, or through social media platform. Then we have a venue where we meet. That's for those within my location. Then if I'm to have meeting with, maybe, let me say, we want to hold a program for widows in Jos, what we'll do first is to announce it, then, make it known to the people around, then announce also in churches that we want to meet with widows in this area or in this region. So they come together and we meet at a particular place. So that's how we get to meet. Then the one of the swimming, right? Usually registration is for 5,000 naira, because it's actually an NGO. That is why we didn't charge much. For example, in my son's school, I paid 20,000 naira for him to learn how to swim. Then that was when we actually moved here newly, but right now he's with the foundation. Then it's actually cheap in the sense that when I contacted other swimming academy, they were charging like 50, 60 and the rest of them. So the 5K is just to be able to pay the coaches. My interest is just for the children to learn how to swim. It's not the money involved. If they could learn how to swim, it's like a greatest achievement to me. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think I'm very happy with that, because I was going to suggest if you could just put like a fee, which is just a token, because my kids actually swim and I know how much it costs, So which is fair, because that would only just be to support, actually. That would not be like for gain making, so that people would know that, okay, this venture is not for making profit. Just like you said, yeah, a lot of people and even the family would actually think that you're making money using their son's name. But I think it should be something that should be able to publish, so that people will get to know and understand, and the family will be able to see and know that it's not as if you're using their son to make money, because already his absence is so much, it's there's a huge gap already there. So they shouldn't compound issues thinking you're making money with his name.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I think for now.
Okay, great. All right. We have another person. Pastor Amos, you want to ask a question, right? You can unmute yourself and ask. Or is that a...
Okay, Mrs. Blankson, you've gone through a lot. But I want to ask this question, and you're at liberty not to answer publicly.
Who is that?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yes, I can. We can hear you.
Okay, you are at liberty not to answer the question publicly. You told us a few things you've gone through, the pressure from, is it suspicion now? I don't know how to call it, from your in-laws.
Okay.
Yes, if I can guess, well, I may not be able to, I can't be so sure, but from your look, you are obviously a young widow. You could also be passing through some pressures, a moment of pressure from your own family. If you should remain like this, or the need for you to settle again with another person, that is why I said you are at liberty not to answer this question publicly. So I was just thinking that should you succumb to that pressure, what happens to the widow's hub?
Okay.
Please remember,
The truth is that
you are at liberty not to answer it publicly.
no, there's nothing like, I don't know how to put it about the question. I can just answer it now. Well, the truth is that okay, it's just like when my late husband anniversary that passed, right? So my brother was like, is this really necessary? Joe is dead and gone, just let him be. Do you get? Then the widow's hub thing, right? I got a lot of questions from people, and so many persons trying to discourage it. Mercy,
Okay.
you don't have to. You still remarry, blah, 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 blah. But
Yes.
about marriage now, I don't know for now. But the truth is that if it's God's will that I should remarry in future, I will still keep the foundation going.
It's all right.
I'll still keep it going.
It's all right. And God will bless your effort. Thank you.
Amen.
All right. Thank you for the questions. Like I said in the beginning, basically, our focus is basically on how you've been able to pull through, the strategies you've employed, what you've been doing, how you've grown the foundation, how you've grown the academy, what you've put into it, how far you've gone, what exactly. So that is actually, for me, that's actually what basically I'm interested in. How have you been able to do that? Because for me, I think a lot of people want to know how to pull through challenges. Now, I want to say thank you to that. I don't know if we have any other question before I wrap up with my last question. Any other question?
Sorry, I think there's a question on the chat, if you want to look at it.
Okay, Ugochukwu Stephen is saying, my question is, how is the husband family supporting you and the children? So has there been any support?
Okay, this is actually the third day I lost my husband, and I've not heard from my in-laws from in fact, from the day one he passed on, so many dramas still happening. Till this very moment, I've not heard from them. So there is no support and there is no communication.
Fantastic. All right. I would like to end on this note. Part of the reasons why I got interested, now far back 3 years ago, I got interested in this story. When it happened, it was everywhere. We saw it, and we connected. And part of what I also want to achieve this evening is to be able to, I don't know, I know it's some persons here, but I don't know everybody here. But I want to make a call. I want to make a call. Yes, I think I'm at liberty to do that. I want to make a call for support of what Mrs. Joe Blankson is doing. Now, so if you're here, and I'm rounding up on this note, if we do not have any other question, I'm rounding up on this note. If you are here and you want to lend support to what she's doing by way of supporting the academy, supporting the Widows Hub in whatever way, right? I would like you to just drop a message at, Tosin, I just want you to drop our email address in the chat box. I want you to drop a message with us. Tell us what you think you can do. Or if you want to reach her directly, I think, would you want to drop your details? Would you want to do that? Would you want to drop your details? Or you want them to go through us? Which do you prefer?
I can. Yeah, they should go through.
Okay, all right, great. So just send an email to askme@aqueduct.org. It's the email address is in the chat box. And we would just communicate to us on what you want to do, and we will contact her. I want well-meaning Nigerians on this platform. You know one or two persons, and you want to lend your hand of support. I just want you to go ahead and just reach out to us on how you think you can support what she's doing. Promise Oladimeji, you have a question. You're raising up your hand, please. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, a quick one. I would suggest, before you talked about the fact that anybody that could help should help and all of that. So I was thinking of some suggestions, and I feel I should share.
Okay.
I didn't join at the beginning. I feel for long-term goals and sustainability, I think there should be some form of structure. Aside you having, I must commend you're a strong woman, like you're very strong. So aside having volunteers, I think there should be like board of trustees. I think there should be structure. I think you should have your paperwork intact. When I say paperwork, okay, how many women have you empowered? How much did you empower them with? How far have they gone? What are they doing presently? So that when you want to seek for funds, with your accountability and with your paperwork, people are willing to give their money. And it will help you to also keep track on how far you have gone. So I feel there should be structure. There should, aside the volunteers, there should be people that you should have like an account that is that carries the name Widows Hub. Then there should be signatories to the account. So you're able to tender all of this. People would easily be able to support and all of that. Then when you have people on your team, there are some meetings that you might not be able to. So you might have like 2 meetings happening simultaneously in different locations. You might not be able to be at both meetings. So you can be at one of the meetings and somebody else, maybe like an assistant, is there. So even when you later on want to get married, you still have it running because you already have structures in place. Okay, so I just feel please have all of this in mind, and I know definitely the Lord will help you, will sustain you, He will grant you strength so that you don't weary out, so that you don't get tired and all of that. I think you should pay attention to all of this, and I pray that the Lord will help you in the name of Jesus. So that's just the case.
Thank you very much, Promise. That's absolutely profound, right? I totally support that, right? Putting structures in place. I don't know to what extent you have actually put structures in place, but maybe I'll be taking that offline to have that conversation with you to see how we can support from our own end, to see how and just advise basically and guide in that regard on putting structures in place. But if you ask me, that is a profound advice to put structures in place, because if you're looking at the big picture in the next say 5-10 years and you want that to grow, you cannot be everywhere. You really need to put structures in place. Thank you very much, Promise, for that. I want to say thank you to everyone that has contributed. Basically, what we just did this in honor of late Joe Blankson, and I want to believe that as well-meaning Nigerians that are on this platform, right, we are being moved by the story, and we also want to support in terms of, yes, if you have the skills to be able to assist in putting structures in place, you're welcome. Send us an email. If you, whatever you just want to do, just send us an email to askme@aqueduct.org and we'll reach out to you. Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for joining this evening, and you have a lovely night. All right. We'll see you in a month's time on another edition of Round Table Talk. Thank you.